Greetings, I am Father Thulani Joel Skhosana from the Diocese of Polokwane, and I've been involved in the research for the Southern African Catholic Bishops' Conference on Ubungoma. The research was done under the SACBC conference, which is Botswana, Eswatini, and South Africa, specifically on Ubungoma. Ubungoma can be understood as a system that has been existing in Southern Africa even before the arrival of the Westerners, the system through which our people got healed, and they were helped in different kind of things that they had problems and challenges with before. So sangoma is basically an intermediary between the visible and invisible world, who has been, ever since the inception of this system, have been helping people with different kinds of problems, even beyond medical problems. Izangoma were involved with counseling people. They were involved in the family matters. They were even involved in certain natural phenomena such as rains and things like that. They were consulted when the people wanted rain. So the bishops wanted to find a way of knowing how to deal with the surge, I must call it the surge of Ubungoma, especially nowadays, that a number of people are becoming a sangoma, not only the elderly but also the youngsters, the youth, joining Ubungoma. And we have also seen that it is actually across racial lines, because we have also a number of white people who are becoming a sangoma, Indians and colors as well, who are becoming a sangoma. So the church then in Southern Africa has never in the past taken any position as to what can be done with regard to the lay people who are Izangoma. They have, of course, in 2006, after a conference, took a decision that priests and religious cannot be at once a priest as well, or religious as well as a sangoma. So the answer was clear with regard to the priests and the religious. But the ordinary lay people, there was nothing that was done. So then this research, which was started in 2019, was an attempt then to find a comprehensive answer to the issue of Ubungoma within the church in Southern Africa. So I've been one of the other priests who were chosen and appointed to make that research, which started in 2019. Unfortunately, it got stopped or delayed because of the COVID-19 in 2020. We know that, and for about two years, it was not as effective as we would have loved to be. But now it has been finished. We have submitted the first report, which was more of a data collection. We went to different Zangoma for interviews, but also for observing certain rituals that they do with an aim of trying to understand Ubungoma in its own self. And then with that, we have now submitted the report to the bishops. And with that, we are moving to the second cycle, which will be debating the content of that report and then comparing it with the Christian faith, so that the bishops can see what position they can take in response to Ubungoma. Yeah, inculturation has been done in some parts of Africa. I must say, not only Africa really. I think the church has been doing inculturation ever since, because even when you go to Europe, Catholicism really has a lot of the cultural aspects of Europe. So then what has happened is that they incarnated their faith according to their own culture, because inculturation is a process of trying to live out our faith according to who we are. It's like making Christ part of us. They will use the word incarnation. So yes, there has been attempts of inculturation in South Africa, which did not go very well, because I think in that attempt after the Synod of Africa, where the Pope encouraged the church in Africa to revive its identity, there were a number of attempts to inculturate certain parts of liturgy, but unfortunately there were certain abuses that took place, including that people would slaughter on the altar in the church, and certain practices which were contrary to, according to the judgment of the bishop, to the faith. So the conference had to put a stop at that. that, to say we cannot continue because now people are abusing that. So, but yeah, this consultation and research that we're doing is also a process of inculturation, and the conference want to do it in a right way. Hence, they want to understand exactly what is happening in Ubungoma, and then we'll then take cycle 2 will be discussions and debates, which will be a process of inculturation, which will be done by looking at if there are things that perhaps may be good within Ubungoma, which can be accepted into the church, or if there are things that have to be rejected. So that will be a process of inculturating. In other words, trying to make the faith, the Christian faith, to be relevant in the people's situations, and maybe trying to help them to live out their faith according to their culture, provided what they do, which is cultural, is not against the faith. Oh yeah, at the moment, because the church has not as yet taken a decision, I think it wouldn't be wise to want to exclude anyone in the church, including Holy Communion, because the church has not taken a decision yet. However, I understand the situation of the priest, because remember, a priest sometimes can act because certain people are scandalized. I myself have had a number of people complaining that such a church is giving a Holy Communion, is a sangoma. So some people may not like that. So it could be possible that the priest acted because of what people were saying, and maybe was trying to take a pastoral solution to the situation. So this lacuna that was left by the church not taking a decision has led to a number of priests coming to bringing their own thoughts into the idea, and then coming with their own initiatives and judging the situation according to what they think. Hence, some priests would then openly accept all sangoma and say it's okay, it's fine, or bless their the thing that they use, and then allow them in church because they see nothing wrong. But that is according to their own view. And then others, maybe because of their background, would then start being against it. But you can't blame any of them. The reason that happens is that the church in Southern Africa has not had a common position. So my advice, therefore, will be that at the moment, let us wait until the bishops decide. Let's just leave the situation as it is, and not cut anyone off from the Holy Communion from that, unless somebody has done something that is sinful and that needs a confession. So we must just accept everybody. Then when the bishops decide, and we don't know what direction that decision will take, then we can then apply the guidance that the bishop will have decided on already. But for now, I don't think it would be okay to make a decision, because the church has no position as yet. Thank you very much.